Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, so today is a bit of a sad story, unfortunately, but that's okay. But it is a story and I'm gonna tell it. This story is about one of
my first serious relationships.
We'd been together for about 6 months and it was not a happy relationship. It was he was just very loud and angry and vicious and scary and told me what to do, very controlling. I was very controlled in that relationship. I worked full time as a cleaner and I had no money. All my money went to him for rent and weed, and he wouldn't let me have any friends over unless they were buying weed. So if my friend didn't want to buy weed, they weren't allowed to come over. So that was pretty shitty. He made me think that my mum didn't like me, so I didn't feel safe going to mum and talking to her about anything because he just fully had control over me. And I felt really scared. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea how to get out of that relationship because I was convinced that no one cared. So that was pretty terrible until my best friend Tamika came along and saved me, but we'll get to that. So my titties one day are just looking really good, okay? I look down and they're just like, yeah. And I was like, And then I took a pregnancy test and I just burst into tears because I found out I was pregnant. We're gonna call him Ben because they both start with a B. So found out I was pregnant with Ben and I knew I didn't want to have a kid with him. I knew I wasn't ready for a kid. And I knew I grew up as a only child with problems, custody battles and things like that, and I never wanted to put any child through that. I never wanted to go through that with anyone. So I just started crying because I knew I wouldn't have to get an abortion, but I knew I wanted to have an abortion because I was mentally and emotionally drained and there was no way I could see a future with him being a good role model to my kids. And at the time, and still to this day, I don't think I'd be a very good role model either. So, you know, it's just, kids are like monkey see, monkey do. So if I don't feel like I'm doing well, I'm not going to have a child copy my every move. So yes, that was my decision. I knew I was going to have an abortion. And then I had really bad morning sickness. I was vomiting non-stop. And I had to go to hospital for the morning sickness and get a drip and things like that. And at the start, when we first got there, it was Nambour Hospital. Nambour Hospital's closed now, I'm pretty sure, but it's a terrible place. I've had terrible experiences there. But I went to Nambour Hospital and they moved me from the emergency ward to the maternity ward. They knew I was getting an abortion. They knew that I was having a termination. They knew that. And they put me in the maternity ward with all the mums and the brand new babies and the heartbeats. And it was that just is one of the things that have just really
Ruined me in life.
Like, because I knew like one day I would want to have a baby, just not then. So I just like that, like you'd think that would make me change my decision, but I honestly just couldn't. And I was just thinking, you know, like I couldn't even let a little baby, I wouldn't even trust a little baby with him, you know, like I wouldn't trust him with kids. I wouldn't trust him to look after any kid. He can't even look after himself. And so I was just like, there's no way I can do it still in that room, hearing all the heartbeats and like listening to all the babies. It was just so hard for me that night, and I had to sleep in there that night, and it was terrible. And then Mum and Ben fought non-stop, like, and if you know my mum, you know that, like, she doesn't like to fight. Like, she's, if you know my mum, you know she's just like one of the best people ever. And he used to fight with her all the time, and he didn't get along with her. He didn't like her. He made it clear that he didn't like her. And so that was stressful too, while waiting, because when you book in for an abortion, like, you have to
wait
a couple of weeks. Like, they can't just get you in straight away sometimes, so you have to
wait.
So I was 7 weeks, and I was due to go in for this abortion, and I had healthcare, so the abortion was $250, right? Ben thought, who cares about an abortion? And Ben used the $250 for my abortion
And bought an ounce of weed.
So, if you thought, yeah, surely it's not that bad, he used my abortion money to buy weed. So, then I had to ask my mum for money. Mum gave me the money, got the abortion at 7 weeks. It was not fun at all. It was terrible. I had like really bad cramps, and like I was in a lot of pain afterwards. Driving back, and when I got back, the house was a fucking mess. Like, I did all the washing, all the cleaning. So the house, there was piles of washing. The house wasn't clean. He was literally hiding washing baskets, like, ugh. So yes, that happened, and it was terrible. And damn, I feel like there's more to this story. Let's talk about how I got out of this controlling relationship, and let's switch it to a positive, because that was pretty sad, but it gets better. So my best friend comes over, and at the time we weren't as close, and she came over and she realized what was going on, and she'd been in a really bad relationship too, so she knew that something was going down and that I needed help. So she comes over, she helps me leave. Ben and I had a fight, and because she smoked some of the weed, because we were smoking weed, Ben came out and was like,
Is she paying for that?
and I was like,
No, like, I'll pay for it, it's fine.
and he was really mad that I had a friend over and he wasn't making a profit out of it, because my money was his money anyway. Like, I'm paying for it means he was paying for it, if that makes sense. So if he was just mad that I had a friend over and they hadn't paid to be there, basically. His friends, he didn't have any friends, but he could have whoever he wanted over, so that was cool. And yeah, her and I left, and I went back to him a couple times, stupidly, and she helped me out of there every single time. She didn't care. She was not scared of him at all. He had some weird control power. The way he yells at me, his yelling voice is so scary that his voice alone just scares the crap out of me. And my best friend was not scared at all. She was like, get out, help me out every time. And one time I went back to him, and he took my shoes I had shoes for my makeup course. He took my makeup course shoes and was like, you're not
leaving.
Like, and I ran. If you've ever been to the uni housing at the Sunshine Coast, there's the gates lock from, you have to use the key to get out of the gate. You can't just walk out, you have to use a key. And I'm running out of this house barefoot, and he's chasing me, and I'm just like, oh. And I couldn't get out. It's like these big gates, and you need a key to get out. So I'm like shaking these gates, I'm like, let me out. Some guy was just let me out quickly, and I ran out onto the street, barefoot, I don't care, like, you can take my shoes, I can still run.
Fucking idiot.
So I fucking ran away, and he's just stole my shoes, and I was like, oh fuck. And then I went back to my best friend and told her what happened. I was so ashamed, and like it took me a little bit to tell her, and eventually I told her because I needed my shoes, and I was like getting new shoes, and she was like, why do you need new shoes? And I was like, because he took them so I couldn't run away, but I ran away anyway, and now I don't have any shoes. She was like, we are going to get your shoes back. She's like, are you kidding? She's like,
fuck him.
like, let's go get him right now. Like, get in the car. We're going to get your shoes. And I was just like, fuck.
No, I was like, oh my god, so scared.
So he went back to Mika, sat with me the whole time. He was playing all nice. You know how like you have an asshole of a boyfriend and then a friend comes over and they start acting really nice? That happened, and she got my shoes and we left. Before I start this little interruption clip, Mum wants everyone to know that she just got back from work and she works very hard, and that's why she looks like that, because she's been sweating all day. Okay, so play the clip. Mum just wants to jump in and let everyone know that one time I went back to him like 3 or 4 times, and one of the times I was in his house and I was in his bed because Mum was trying to get in and he was yelling and I was freaking out, so I just curled up into a ball into the bed, right? So I'm in a ball in the bed. Mum comes in. Show him your muscles, Mum. Give us a flex. Bloody Mum comes in. And she like...
They touched on.
And
Mum won.
Mum won. You did not slap him. He... Like, it was not a slap. You don't get that mark from a slap. I don't know how hard you
Laughing. I didn't raise my daughter for 18 years to be with the fuckwit like you.
That's what she said. Yeah, Mum just wanted to bloody jump in and say that. Don't mess with Mama. And then I didn't see him for over a year after that, and I started dating this guy who is wonderful. Like, we had a terrible breakup, but I think he's probably like the nicest boyfriend I've ever had. But I was in a new relationship and I was feeling better. I was doing better. I had had a little treatment, a little therapy, and I was doing better than I was. Me and the boyfriend after that went to Caloundra RSL, and there was a girl there who we used to sell weed to, and she was really nice and I really liked her. So I was talking to her and she was like, you'll never believe who's working in the kitchen. And I'm like, oh God. And she's like,
Ben.
Like, he's a new dishy here, like kicking goals, Ben. Ben's the new dishy here. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I start freaking out because he still gives me anxiety to this day. If I saw him in the street to this day, I'd probably have a panic attack. But I start freaking out and I'm like, holy crap, she's pouring me doubles and like giving me the RSL discount when I wasn't even a member.
I love her.
And then I was stressing out and, my ex-boyfriend wasn't there actually. It was just my ex-boyfriend's friends that were there. And I stressed out. I called my ex-boyfriend and I was his first girlfriend. He's never really had any crazy exes, so he doesn't really understand. But I was like, my ex is here and I'm freaking out. And he's like, well, you obviously still like him, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, like I'm freaking out. And I didn't want to leave the RSL shaking and freaking out, because then it's like, it would have given him so much satisfaction, you know?
I've given him enough satisfaction in my life.
So in my head, I'm like, this is my
chance,
you know, like to just
get some revenge or
something, like
to confront him.
Like, I was a little bit drunk and I was just like, I'm gonna confront this guy, like.
I hate him. He owes me so much fucking money, like not just the $250.
Like,
so much money.
And I was just like, oh my God, like I get to confront him. And I was freaking out. I didn't tell my boyfriend what I was doing at the time because he would have tried to stop me. And everyone was like, don't, it's a bad idea. And I was thinking,
fuck you guys, you don't know.
Like, they didn't know shit about their relationship. So I snuck away and I had half a tally of Jimmy and Coke. And I went to where you ordered the chips and I was like, hi. And I was all nice and I was like, hey, does Ben blah, blah, blah work here? And they're like, yeah, he's in the kitchen. Do you want me to go get him? And I'm just like, yes, please. And I'm freaking out. I start freaking out. I take my straw. I don't know why I took the straw out. I don't know. But I take my straw out of my half a tally of Jimmy and Coke, ready to throw it at him because I just wanted to peg a drink at him, you know? Like, I've like fantasized about it, you know? Pegging a drink at your ex. It's just throwing a drink at it, you know? Not actually pegging the drink. That was a bit fun. Anyway, I just really wanted to peg my drink at him. Like, that's what I wanted to do. It was my revenge plan. It wasn't a very good one. I was a little bit drunk, but I'd rather throw a drink at him than leave shaking and not having said anything, okay? I don't regret it to this day. I'm still happy I did it. And then the guy comes back and he's like, oh, Ben's in the kitchen working, cleaning dishes, but I can take you into the kitchen and you can see him if you want. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, holy crap, like, and I start freaking out. So I've got my drink and I'm in heels. I look cute, by the way. I look cute. And I'm strutting to the kitchen and I see him and I start freaking out. And he's like, be careful, you'll slip, because I was in heels. And I just pegged this drink at him. And he was just like, looked at me like,
is that it? Is that all you could do?
And I got so frustrated. I threw the glass at him. Wait, and then it hits his arm. He goes like this. The glass hits his arm and rolls onto the rubber kitchen floor. It doesn't even smash. There's no smashing of glasses anywhere. Like, I threw the drink. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. It wasn't satisfying enough. He laughed at me as if as if that would hurt me. So I tried to peg the glass at him and it rolled onto the rubber floor and did not smash. Yeah, so that's my story. Moral of the story is, get friends that look out for you. Don't throw glasses at anyone. It doesn't end well. And yeah, have a really good day. I love you guys. Oh my God, it's that late. My nose running because I was crying. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry that was sad. I tried to bump it up with some like funny parts, but it's not funny at all. It's really a bit all cringe. But I hope you enjoyed that. I have many more stories. Let me know if you want to hear any more. I love you.